One man's trash is another man's treasure. We've likely all heard this phrase, but has anyone thought about the two parties involved? One man finds no use, functionality, or value in the same object that another man prizes and celebrates. The object doesn't change, but the value placed on it does. The first man sees the object as useless. Why not just give it away? The second man, the same object is prized. Does anyone lose in this situation? No. Organ donation is much the same as this simple saying. One person's unneeded parts are another person's saving grace. Organ donation is something everyone can do to save lives without risking their own. Hi, I'm Kylie Johnston, and I am a registered organ donor. During the course of this speech, I will discuss the need for organ transplants, the difference each donor can make, and the common hesitations of potential donors. As of yesterday, the Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network, OPTN, reported that there were over 12,000 men, women, and children on the waiting list for organ transplants. The OPTN website breaks this list into categories. Over 90,000 people are waiting for kidney transplants. More than 16,000 people are holding out for a liver, and over 3,000 people, roughly the size of John Carroll's campus, are awaiting a heart transplant. Of those waiting for organs, DonateLife.net cites that approximately 1,746 of these on the waiting list are pediatric patients. DonateLife.net also posts that every 10 minutes, a new name is added to the transplant waiting list. An average of 18 people die every day waiting for an organ transplant. Overall, the demand for tissue, eye, and organs vastly exceeds the number of donors. Now that you're aware of the vast need for organ donations, it is important to understand the difference each donor can make. An article from the National Association of Attorneys General Gazette explains that from each donor, there is a potential for 7 organs to be taken for transplantation. These are the heart, lungs, liver, pancreas, 2 kidneys, and the small intestine. The donor may also elect to give their eyes, tissues, or bone. From each donor, multiple transplants can be made. Mayo Clinic explains that by donating your organs, you can save or improve the lives of up to 50 people. The clinic also writes that many families say that knowing their loved ones help save the lives of others is a comfort to them in coping with loss. Organ donation saves so many lives, it is a wonder why more people are not registered donors. According to an article titled "The Reluctant Organ Donor," the New York Times says that only 38% of licensed drivers were registered to be donors in 2009. The Times article cited an online survey conducted by Donate Life America that surveyed 5,100 people. The survey provided insight into why so few people are registered donors. It concluded that many people still have fears of organ donation. According to the survey, 50% of respondents are concerned that doctors will not put as much effort into saving them if they are known to be organ donors. 57% questioned if a person can recover from brain death. These fears are both unnecessary. First, I will discuss the question of inadequate care. A potential donor is admitted to a hospital, usually due to illness or accident. Most donors have suffered from severe head trauma, a stroke, or a brain aneurysm. During the patient's stay, healthcare professionals are doing everything they can to save the life. To quote the Mayo Clinic, "When you go to the hospital for treatment, doctors focus on saving your life, not someone else's." The New York Times quotes Donate Life chairman Sarah Pace Jones as saying, "The doctor who is trying to save the life of the injured patient is not the same doctor who recovers organs for transplantation." In an article titled "Debunking Organ Donation," USC Health Now explains that the Uniform Anatomical Gift Act outlines the declaration of death must be made by doctors that are in no way connected to the transplantation team. Now that we've covered that adequate care is still given to organ donors, let's discuss the question of what being brain dead really means. The Mayo Clinic states that although it's a popular topic in the tabloids, in reality, people don't start to wiggle their toes after they've been declared dead. In fact, people who have agreed to organ donation are given more tests at no charge to their families to determine if they're truly dead than those who have not agreed to organ donation. OrganDonor.gov explains that when a medical team has tried every option and the patient is not responding, a medical professional will perform a series of tests, usually on several occasions, to determine if the patient is brain dead. This is done in compliance with accepted medical practice and state law. Patients who are brain dead have no brain activity and cannot breathe on their own. Brain death is not coma, brain death is death. In conclusion, we have now discussed the great need for organ donations, the impact one donor can make, and the unnecessary hesitations potential donors have. Hopefully you can now see how organ donation is much like the old cliche saying about trash and treasure. Sign up now to be an organ donor, and you can save lives without risking your own. Let your trash be someone else's treasure.